Good evening, and thank you for joining us as we start a new week together. We want to begin tonight with the aftermath of the short-lived rebellion that pushed Russia to the brink of civil war, and also bringing new questions. Is Vladimir Putin's iron grip on power in peril? The Kremlin is trying to project a sense of calm, but the extent of the damage to the dictator's standing among the Russian people is still unknown. Tonight, we're hearing for the first time from the mercenary leader since he led the uprising. He claims the mutiny was never an attempt to overthrow the government in Moscow. In a meeting with Russian security officials tonight, Putin thanked them for their support, including the defense minister, who the Wagner group wanted to be removed. President Biden today breaking his silence, saying the West played no role in the mutiny. NATO allies and the world are closely monitoring the situation. We have team coverage starting with CBS's Ian Lee, who is inside Ukraine. Good evening, Ian.
Good evening, Nora. The man behind Russia's rebellion is offering his own reason for backing down, saying tonight that he wanted to avoid major bloodshed. Yevgeny Prigozhin broke his silence today, releasing an audio message for the first time since agreeing to exile after his failed insurrection. The Wagner leader denied trying to overthrow Russian President Vladimir Putin and said his fight was with the country's military leaders. But hours later, the Russian president responded, calling Wagner's actions a rebellion and vowing to bring its organizers to justice. U.S. officials tell CBS News they believe Prigozhin was still in Russia as of this morning, but his current whereabouts are unknown. The revolt began Friday evening when Prigozhin blamed a Russian airstrike for killing a large number of his fighters. In retaliation, the mercenary boss marched his troops into Russia and seized the city of Rostov, home to Russia's southern military command. Prigozhin then directed them toward Moscow to deal, he said, with Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and his top general. Social media captured the death and destruction along the way. President Vladimir Putin began to lock down the capital as soldiers took up defensive positions. Heavy equipment ripped up the roads leading to the city. On state TV, President Putin attacked Prigozhin as a traitor, but with Wagner troops less than 150 miles from Moscow, the Kremlin seemed to have cut a deal. Wagner troops would be pardoned and returned to their bases. Criminal charges against Prigozhin would be dropped and he'd go into exile in Belarus. That agreement tonight now looks in doubt. By the end of the day Saturday, Wagner forces and Prigozhin left Rostov to a hero's goodbye, ending the mutiny. This afternoon, President Biden distanced the United States from the insurrection.
We made clear that we were not involved. We had nothing to do with it. This was part of a struggle within the Russian system.
Ukraine eagerly exploited that struggle by stepping up offensive operations, making gains in the east around the town of Bakhmut and taking another village in the south. Tonight, President Putin took aim at the West, telling his people that Russia's enemies wanted them to choke on a bloody civil strife, and he offered Wagner soldiers an option: join the Russian army or choose exile in Belarus. Nora?
Ian Lee with those new developments in Ukraine. Thank you.